Hello, how are you? Amanda, Seint artist. We're going to talk about the detail brush. This brush is a good brush. I recommend it with every one of my color matches. I typically recommend it as a secondary brush, but let's say you're just getting into contouring, you're not sure about it, you just want to try the basics, and you want one brush. This is your brush, detail brush. It's so good. It's good all over brush. You could do your whole face with this brush, but this end right here is so good for when you're getting into contouring. And then this end is so great for getting into your under eyes, cleaning up around your nose. This is a great brush. You could do your whole face, and I'm going to show you how with just this brush. I like it. It's a good mid brush. Mid meaning it can be light, it can be full, and medium coverage, but it can tackle all the things. All the things. Okay, so basic setup. Here we go. When you decide you want to try the makeup, because I make it look good, you're going to send me a makeup-free selfie. Find a well-lit window inside and take a couple steps back and then snap that picture and send it to me. And then I'm going to send you all the things. And when I say I'm going to send you all the things, I send you every recommendation because I just want to hit you once. If I'm going to hit you once, it's going to have everything. That way you can decide how you want to customize your palette, because these palettes are 100% customized to what you want for your makeup. Not what I want, what you want. Not what your friend wants, what you want. So you'll customize your palette, and then you also have a place to reference when you're ready to add more. So let's get started. The first 4 colors of every one of my color matches is the basic setup. You got your main highlight, foundation, brightening highlight, concealer, your contour, and then a blush. That's the basic setup. That's going to give you all the dimension, the one layer of makeup, and all the coverage you want, because everything in here is foundational coverage. It's 80% pigmentation versus 18% pigmentation, so you're not having to stack, you're not having to put a lot on. It's less is more, and you put less makeup on your face and you get a better result. I promise. Is it different? Yes, it's creams. It's not liquids. It's not powders. It's cream. And they all work together because they're all creams. All right, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my main highlight, which right now is June, and I'm going to go in on the big end. I'm going to tap into it. You never want to wipe into these creams. You don't want your bristles sticking together. This makeup is buildable. You just want it on the tips of the bristles. And I'm going to focus this only on the lower part of my face. And when I say the lower part, really just across here. I'm going to come up just a little bit because I have discoloration. So I'm going to tap this up and then tap it around. And I'm basically just sponging it where I need it. And then I'm going to start tapping it to blend it. And I just handle one side with my first taps and then the other side with my other taps. So we'll see. So I move it to my crease, to the crease of my nose, to my smile line, because I don't want to apply too much cream to this area because it does move. This is creams, this is makeup, not magic. So your makeup will move. You just reset it with your finger and you're fine. You don't need to add more product. So good. So I'm just evening out my skin tone here, covering up my discoloration from old acne scarring. And I'm bringing it up right here. I'm avoiding basically there. You can see where I'm avoiding because again, everything in here is foundational coverage. So I'm going to tap in again, and I always start right here because this is where I'm not going to be stacking and layering, and then I bring it up. So most of my product is right down here. I bring it down to my chin and around my mouth, up to that crease and smile line, and I tap. If you have maturing skin, if you have scarring, if you have large pores, fine lines, tap your makeup in, don't wipe it. It will accentuate those textures that you're uncomfortable with. So just tap, it moves. You just tap and move it. It works really well. It's creams. It blends like a dream. It's incredibly forgiving. If you apply too much, you can very easily go back over it and pick up excess product. I always recommend waiting to the end to do any touch-ups, to do any makeup removing. If you feel like you've added too much, wait to the end. That way you don't compromise the makeup. And I'll show you how to pick up that excess product at the end. Okay, so there we go. I've added my main highlight, my foundation. I don't need to turn my face one color just to then stack on structure. All right, next color I'm going to go into is actually my contour. When you're setting up your palette, always keep your main highlight and your brightening highlight side by side. Not because it's the order that you go in, but because you want to be able to tell. Once you separate them, it can kind of get difficult to see which one's your main, which one's your brightening. But when they're side by side, you can see which one's darker, which one's lighter, because your brightening highlight is always 2 to 3 shades lighter than your actual skin tone, because you're wanting to add brightness, reflective light, and dimension to your face where you already get reflecting light. But we're going to go into contour next. I live on this long edge right here with my contour, and I just push in. I'm using indigo. And again, we don't want our bristles sticking together. Now, if you look at my forehead, let's look at our shadows. You have natural shadowing out here, a little bit up here. We have shadowing down the sides of our nose, into our cheekbones, on our jawline. That's where your contour goes. It goes where your shadows go. So we're going to take that contour and I am going to add a skosh here, a skosh here. Yes, it's dark. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's messy. It's okay. Because they're creams, they blend seamlessly. So I'm just using circles and I'm bridging it together up here where my shadowing is. And I'm just going to use a light touch and circles. You can tap this and blend it out also. It's whatever you want. It just depends on how you want to apply your makeup. And this is how I like to apply mine, but you can tap this out and blend it. But look at how that scary, super dark contour just blended out like a dream. I don't need to add my main highlight to the top of my forehead, mid of my forehead, anywhere, because I'm going to add brightening here. You could see the light reflecting off my forehead. That's where your brightening goes. And so once my brightening merges in with my contour, it makes a beautiful balance. And you don't need your main highlight. You don't need more product than is necessary. And that's the point of this makeup, is less is more. You get this beautiful and natural result. Okay, going back on the edge of that contour right here, putting it on the edge, and we're gonna draw an 11. We're gonna go down the top side of our nose. And it doesn't need to be a lot. It just needs to be 2 11s, just like that. And then I'm gonna square off my nose, just by adding a little bit there. And then I'm gonna use this brush to just tap it and blend it, using this corner here to just push towards my brows, following that natural shadow. Now again, this doesn't have to be perfect. This will all blend out because we are going to be adding our brightening down the bridge of our nose where we have reflecting light, and then bridging it. So I'm just tapping this down, blending it into what looks like a natural shadow. There is no wrong way to apply this makeup. Trust the process. If you're ever like, oh gosh, this is looking rough, wait to the end to decide that, because this is different. It is. Okay, so there's my nose. Not done yet. Nothing's done yet. Trust the process. So we're going to go into that edge again, tapping in, and we're going to do our cheekbone. So I have a natural shadow here. I like to go just above that and right at the bottom of my cheekbone. I start at the top of the ear and I just draw this swoop. Now, depending on your face shape is how you want to apply your contour, but I just like to hug and follow my natural cheekbone, just like that. Tapping onto the edge, same thing, top of the ear, following my natural cheekbone above the shadow. Now, that's how I like it. You could easily follow your shadow and give a fuller cheek, but this is how I like to apply my makeup. And you get to decide how you like to apply your makeup. All right, grabbing onto the edge, I'm gonna go in front of my earlobe and down my jaw. And this is just gonna give me some back of the jaw structure. This is great for date nights, dances, weddings, bridesmaids, wedding guests, and then pulling down right here, grabbing that edge. And we're just gonna go in front of the earlobe, down, just like that. All of our colors can look very pigmented and very bold. They are, but they're easily blendable, they're easily buildable, and they are forgiving. You can apply way too much and blend it down and it's not gonna texturize. It's not. Okay, so I have my contour on. Yes, it looks rough. Yes, it's under blended. I do that on purpose because as I'm adding my brightening and I'm adding my blush, it's going to blend it down. All right, the next color I'm gonna go into, we're just gonna start, I'm gonna do my under eyes last. So I'm going to start in with my brightening highlight on the small end of the brush. And I'm just going to tap this between my brows. Right here, I'm going to push this up over each brow. Up, 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 just like that. And I'm going to hit the tip of my nose, just like that. And that's my main brightening points. I'm going to hit my Cupid's bow because it accentuates the prettiness of a Cupid's bow. And then we all get reflective light on our chin. So I'm just gonna add that. I'm gonna flip it to this dentin and I'm gonna tap this out. Just pushing it out to that main highlight and it just blends like a dream. It's super forgiving. tapping this back and forth. And do you see how the brightness, it's not texturizing, it doesn't look weird, but it accentuates the prettiness of a Cupid's bow. I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to put just a dot on my finger, and I'm going to run this down the bridge of my nose right here. Just really super light. Now I'm going to tap it all the way down, and this is just going to add that structure. And do you see how it just cleaned up that contour? It's so nice. If you want to add more, which I do, I like a lot of brightening, but I just blend it in, blend it out. I'm going to take this big end and I am going to just lightly push this over my brows. I've already drawn my brows on, so I'm being a little extra careful. It was for the sake of the video. Everything just looks better when you've got your eyes and your brows all done. But you see how just with a light feathering, this blends out, goes into that contour, like I was saying, creates this beautiful, even skin tone. Look at how nice that is. This stuff works together rather than against each other, because when you're using liquid foundation and then you go on with that thick concealer and then you set it with a powder and you go in to use to restructure your face with your powder contours and bronzers and blushes, it can stick to those liquid foundation and concealer areas, and you gotta really work to blend it out. You don't have to do that with this. All right, so I'm gonna go into my blush next. I'm just gonna get this a little extra blendy poo because it makes me feel better. Softens it out. Okay, we're gonna go in. This is Cindy. It looks very bright here. I melted my makeup down because you can melt this down. You just put it on the low simmer setting on your stove, and you use a toothpick and you can blend it down. It helps you get the maximum out of your tins, because you'll use 100% of the makeup, which you can't do in a bottle, but you'll use 100% of it. And it also, you'll get fibers in there, dust in there, and so you can clean it up that way. So this is Cindy. It looks very bright here on the camera. It's not. Trust me, Cindy's a beautiful color. It's also a beautiful lip color. It's one of our semi-glosses, but it's not tacky like a lot of them can be. So I'm going to go in on the big end and I'm going to tap into Cindy. I start at the top of my cheekbone above that contour, and I tap this in on both sides first because I have a lot of product on there and they're highly pigmented. And then I start blending, and I blend with tapping. And I smile because as you mature, I'm 41 years old. So as I mature, I lose volume in my cheeks. And so I bring it down so that I don't do that. I like to also, because I have maturing cheeks, hang it towards the bottom part of where the apple is when I'm smiling. Not so much up here, because once my face is resting, it can very much look like one of those clown circles. So I just tap this down. But do you see how pretty this scary hot pink color was in the tin? But it goes on really beautifully. I like this color. It's good for fall. It's good for summer. It's good for all the seasons. It's so good, and it's hydrating. And because it's hydrating, it makes a really beautiful lip color. So I'm gonna take the small end. Look at how good this is. I'm gonna go into my brightening, and I'm gonna go, okay, let's talk about our under eyes, because this is where a lot of women struggle, is their under eyes. So everybody has puffiness. I'm starting to get my fine lines and wrinkles like any woman in their 40s. And so you can easily accentuate your fine lines and puffiness by adding too much product. So remember, less is more. If you're young and you're not getting into that puffiness or your fine lines, you can crepe your skin very easily by adding too much product. Your under eyes are a very sensitive, soft tissue area. So here's what you do. Very little. No more big triangles, which everybody already knows that these days. It's very trendy to dot, dot, blend. I'm going to show you how to camouflage these issues. I have my troughs. They get deeper as the week proceeds. And I'm going to go under my trough here. And I'm just going to come up. Now, I had a broken capillary, and this covers it really, really well. So if you needed color correcting it with your old makeup, you may not with this makeup because of the pigmentation. I'm going to pick up a little more, and you can barely see it on the brush. And then I'm going to come right up here, and this is just going to lift my eye a bit, but it's also going to clean up my eyeshadow. And then I'm just going to tap right here on my orbital bone, and I'm going to push it around. I'm keeping it blended down, and then I'm bringing it up. I'm going to flip it to this big end here, and I'm just going to tap, and I'm going to blend it with that cheek, with that nose contour, and that's it. You can take it and just really lightly feather this, just like that. Look at what brightening can do to your under eye. And less is more. I don't have crepiness. I still have my puffiness. I still have my fine lines. This is makeup, not magic. If you apply too much, it will settle into your fine lines. The only thing you need to do is take your warm finger and just press it out, and it will reset any place where there's movement. It's makeup, not magic. I've got my angry daughter marks right here. And so if you have any settling in your lines, just use your finger to reset it. Don't grab your palette and add more makeup. You don't need to. This is cream, so it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes back to where it belongs. And you're reset and ready to go. This is great for the end of the day. If you're going out with girlfriends for drinks, meeting your husband for dinner, it's whatever. You just reset it with your makeup. So good. If you have oily skin, go grab the blotting papers and just pat it out, reset your makeup, and you're good to go again. Just add a little bit of lipstick. All right, going in on the other eye, tapping in, going under that trough and up. And I just like to basically just, come down, but then up into that inner corner. Because I have maturing eyes, I don't like to pop a shimmer on my inner corner because it can accentuate any fine lines I have there and mature my eyes more. Again, bringing it up right here to lift my eye, clean up my eyeshadow, and then I just bring them together on the orbital bone, and then I start blending onto the soft tissue. Use a feather-light touch. The tips of the bristles are all you need to blend any of this makeup on any part of your face. Blend it into that cheek. And look at how good that looks. So good. If you need to add more blush if you want to, you go right ahead. I just want to add a little more to the tops of the cheekbones here. Boom, boom, boom. So good. Cindy is such a pretty color. I haven't used it in such a long time, and I don't know why, because I forgot how much I love it. I'm going to pinch the small end here, and I'm going to sweep on a little bit of contour, and I'm going to go under my lip, and I'm going to create a shadow, and I'm going to do the same thing over the top lip. And I'm just making a shadow, and it's going to give my lips fullness, and I'm just using this brush to blend it in. I pull down on my upper lip so I don't make it go up too high because I don't want it to look like a stash. But do you see how it just enhanced using that brightening on my Cupid's bow with this contouring around my Cupid's bow? It just accentuated it, made it look pretty, and it's going to make my lips look fuller. I'm going to take a little bit of brightening, and I'm just going to go on the outer corners of my lip with a very small amount, and I pull it down so I'm not messing with my shadowing. But this adds contrast to whatever color you decide to put on your lip. I'm using a lip liner. I like lip liners. I think it keeps things where I want them. My favorite lip liner is by MAC. It's half red. And I'm going to line my upper lip first. I always start at my corner here. Come up. I do not outer line. I do hang on the edge of the danger zone though. Okay, don't follow it around. Pull it out almost like your wing, like an eyeliner wing. Wing out your corner. Not like a crazy person, but wing it out. So first line it. Okay, hanging on that edge. Open your mouth to straighten out your lip line. Some people have bumpy lines on their lips like me, and then wing it out at the corner. It's not a big wing. It just sharpens the corner. You see that? It makes my lips look fuller without outer lining. All right, same thing. Gonna line the lower lip. Okay. Do not meet the wing. Come just up to the corner. And yeah. Okay. This just gives you that definition. Isn't that nice? It's nice. So we're going to color our corners. When you're lining your lips, open your mouth. Nobody likes seeing it. I know you probably didn't want to see me doing it, so we'll just block it for a minute. And color in the outer corners. That's it. I'm going to take Cindy, my lip color. We're going to pop this in and hop this on. Look at how pretty that lipstick is. Look, it doesn't even look like what color I put on my cheeks because it's so beautiful and buildable. If you have very textured lips, tap it in. If you have dry lips, this is a great lipstick color, and I'm blending it into my lip liner. Look at how pretty that is. More, I'm going to start on my Cupid's bow. Guys, I can't wait to get my nails done. I'm a week and a half away. So close. So close. Has everybody been seeing that Hailey Bieber nail polish color, I'm going to do a play on that. I'm going to do the ombre tip because I'm basic. And then I'm going to do the frosted thing over top because I'm elevated basic. All right. Mom makeup. I talk a lot, but this can easily be done in 10 minutes. Easily. I have oily skin. If you have dry to combination skin, there goes all my stuff. Not all of it, just 2. If you have combination to dry skin, Seint setting spray. Super hydrating, really good. I have dry skin. Boom. Charlotte Tilbury or All Nighter. And if you're testing out setting sprays and you're not sure which one you're going to like, buy travel sizes. They're great because once you decide you love something, you can just keep refilling this bottle like I do. This is my gym bag makeup, but it's summer, so I don't go to the gym. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but I mean, it's the season I'm in. Anyways, I have small kids. So I use a travel size and then I buy a full size when I know I love it. And then I just keep refilling my travel size for travel and for my gym bag. So I'm going to use Charlotte Tilbury today. And I obviously like it. There we go. Spray your face. Get it good and dousey. Not sopping wet, but get it good and wet. And then take your brush and tap it in, especially in those areas where you're oily or you have texture. Like I have texture here from my kids, and then here, and then here, especially over my larger pores, around my nose, and just press it in. And you're done. But look at this makeup. It puts life on your skin. It's essentially one layer, and this detail brush is so good for contouring. So message me. Let's try this makeup. Have a good day.